Good morning, stamping friends. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing really great, and I'm so excited that birthday week is over with in the Heiling family. We had 4 out of 8 grandkids' birthdays in the past 7 days, and not to mention my mom's birthday and my husband's mom's birthday. So it is definitely birthday month here. But we have all the parties behind us. We had so much fun, but I'm exhausted. Oh boy, but that's how it goes. Every October is the same. And then not to mention, a lot of the activities were outside, and we are back to summer weather here in Arizona. It's crazy. We are in the hundreds again. So I'm hoping fall is around the corner, even though the heat doesn't bother me too much, but this has been a long summer, that's for sure. Well, in case you're new to my channel, my name is Lorri Heiling, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm always really excited to share with you what I've been working on in my stamp room. Now, today's project is one that we did at my in-person class. I hold classes in my home in case you live nearby. I live in Cave Creek, Arizona, which is near Phoenix and Scottsdale and Cave Creek. And so, it doesn't matter if you're in the area or just passing through, you are always welcome to my in-person classes. Now, for those of you who don't live near me, I also do an online card club where you can join, and you can do it, month by month, or if you join for 6 months, you get a bonus of $25 in Stampin' Up! Products at the end of your 6-month term. So I have all those details on my blog. You can click on classes and then in person, and that will give you instructions on how I do my classes, and then also the online card club, which is mostly long distance people do this. So this is one of the projects that I'm going to share with you today where we did at my in-person class, and it's a Christmas card, and so I'm anxious to share with you. So let me turn the camera around and we will get started with today's project. I think today I'm going to start with this little banner up here and explain what this is, because I always talk about it at the end of my videos, but some of you may just tune in for the beginning part of my video. So I just want to let you know that every time I do a video, I put a host code here, and what that is it's a little code that will give me credit for your sales, and then this makes me able to send little treats to my customers whose order is over $50. So after I'm done showing you my projects, if you ever would like to order, just go to my online store, and then if you could please use the host code, even if your order is under $50, the code still will give me credit where I can accumulate the host rewards. And then again, if your order is over $50, then I can send you a little treat that's Stampin' Up! Product along with your thank you card. Now, there's one other bonus that is going on this month for the whole month of October. If you are putting in a $50 order to get the little treat that gets sent to you, this is really a much better deal. Because we are celebrating 35 years with Stampin' Up!, they are hosting this awesome opportunity, and you can purchase a starter kit which consists of anything that you pick out in any current catalog, including the clearance rack, and you can either get it 35% off, which brings the cost down to $64.35. But look at this, you get to choose up to $125 in products. So look at that, is almost half price for your products. You can't go over $125, by the way. A lot of times people say, oh, I'm so close, can I just pay the difference? No, I always say it's like playing the Price is Right. You have to come, your total has to be $125 or a little bit less. Now, the other deal they have going on is you can get 35% more, which means you just pay the $99 and then you get to choose $168.75 worth of products. So this is such a great deal. And do you know that you don't have to make minimums? And that's if you even choose to make your minimums, which means you would continue getting a discount with Stampin' Up! But they don't have to be met until April 30th of 2024. So you guys, that is a long time to get your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator discount. So I just really encourage you. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to talk about any little details that you might be wondering about. Again, you do not have to continue. You're just getting a great deal off the bat. And if you choose to let your demonstratorship go, that's fine. And you might decide that, hey, I kind of like this discount on all my products. So you may choose to continue. You don't know until you at least give it a try. So I just encourage you to do that. All right, now we will get on to today's project, and we are going to be using a stamp set that you may have seen around on Pinterest. However, you are not going to see this stamp set in any current catalog that we have, because Stampin' Up! Has a whole list of products that are only available to be viewed online, and they are called the online exclusives. So if you go to my Stampin' Up! Website and then you click shop all products, and they have a drop down list of categories, and just click on online exclusives, and that's where you will find this stamp set. It's really a cute one, and I've had fun with this one. We use this one in my Cozy Craft Retreat, and now I'm starting to continue to use it in some of my other classes. I love that these two give, well, actually these four give kind of a stained glass look, so it's just really fun to work with. All right, so that stamp set is called So Very Merry, and that is $24, and you get 10 stamps in this, and look at the cute little sentiments with it as well. All right, we are going to start with Cherry Cobbler cardstock, and let me grab my ruler. Oh, I'm going to need my longer ruler. Hold on. And this cardstock is 7 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And then what I did was I scored it at 3 inches on the long side. You can see that I embossed the front flap, and I used the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. And I'm not sure if this shows up, but it's very dense snowflakes towards the bottom and very light and airy at the top. It's really a nice embossing folder, and it is a 6x6 one, so you can go either way that you want, depending on the direction of the card. All right, the next thing we are going to do is take a distressed gold piece of cardstock, and this is 5.5 by 1 1/8. Then we're going to take a cute little die that has kind of a torn look. It looks like you ripped it, but if you rip our paper, it will have a white edge on it, and I didn't want that for this card, so I'm going to use the die that looks like it's torn. This is actually from Gorgeously Made Dies. It's a really nice die set, and what I'm going to do is place it on here, and then I'm just going to die cut that. So when it's done, it will look like this. Okay, and I just kind of went in half as best that I could. All right, the next thing we're going to do is take the, I guess I was going to say the smaller one, but they're actually about the same size, so it doesn't really matter which one you use. And I'm going to use my liquid glue for this. And we're just going to put glue on the back side of this, and we are going to place this on the card front right on this edge. It's going to match the right edges together. So it's going to look like a little bit like it's torn, like that. Now we're going to do the same thing with that second one, except we're going to put it on the back of this piece of cardstock. So let's add some glue again. And we're going to match the right edge again. So it's going to actually look like two torn pieces from the front. I'll show you once I'm done, and I'll close the card so you can see. And when you use liquid glue, it is forgiving. You can move it a little bit before it dries. Okay, so now when the card closes, isn't that neat? All right, that's this part of the card. Now we're going to set that aside. And the next thing I did was I took our Stylish Shapes dies, and I used the circle one out of this. And which size is this? I'll just tell you. I'm not sure if it's the largest or second. It's about 2.5 inches, and just cut that out of Cherry Cobbler. And then the next one we're going to do is just take some very vanilla cardstock, and this is about 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we are going to take out the Santa stamp here, and we are going to ink this up with Versamark ink, because we are going to be embossing this in gold. So I have my stamp here, and Versamark ink, in case you haven't embossed before, it's a little bit goopier. Do you like my technical terms? Goopier. And that just allows the gold embossing powder to stick to this. So I'm just going to stamp it in the middle. It doesn't have to be centered. And I do need to make a little catcher here, my scrap paper, so that I can easily put the embossing powder back into my, my little dish here. So just sprinkle that. If you get a little bit beyond where it needs to be, just brush it off with maybe a little brush, but usually it sticks pretty well to the front. All right, so now I'm gonna run over to my heat tool and emboss this, and I will be right back. All right, isn't that pretty? Look at how it really does have a stained glass look to it. clear off my area here. Okay, now we're gonna do some coloring, and I'm actually gonna show you how I do the shading on this. So you can color all this just with one color, and I would use Real Red, and I'm going to use Lost Lagoon with this. But I want to share with you how I do the shading. And what I do is I choose either the top or the bottom, and I start with the lighter color. So I'm going to use light Real Red, and I'm just going to color at the top of anything that I want in red. And this, the little embossing is going to make kind of like a little pool or a wall that will go up, so your colors are very distinct from each other. So I'm just coloring the top of all of these items that I want red. All right, now I'm going to go back and finish coloring in all of these with the darker color. And as I do this, you're going to see a distinct line where the light and dark are separate from each other. I'll hold this up in just a second so you can see. Do you see that? How it's light and dark? And once I'm done with this, I will show you how you bridge that gap so it's more blended. But let me get all these colored in first. Now this really has a mosaic look, doesn't it? Okay, remember how I said you can see that distinct line? We don't want that. So what we're going to do is go back with our lighter color, and we are going to, we are going to go right on that line where it's comes together, and this is how you do the blending. Now it doesn't do this instantly. You have to kind of go over it a couple times and also give it some time to blend. So I'm just going to go over that harsh line again. Some of these are small, so you just have to kind of go over it again. These pieces are so small, but it's almost like a magic thing. You'll see it start blending here, but like I said, it sometimes takes a couple minutes, and then you'll definitely see the dark and light, the difference between the two. The smaller areas blend faster. They don't have as much area to dry. And then we're going to keep going over this bigger one again, like that. Okay, can you see how that blended? All right, now we're going to go in and do the Lost Lagoon now. So again, we're going to start with the lighter colors, and we're going to do these at the top. Remember to figure out which color is going to be green, which is going to be red, and which one is going to just stay very vanilla. So that's kind of like our white. And then we're going to go back in with our lighter one again and bridge that gap between dark and light. You don't even have to go all the way up to the top. And one thing that I did is to give it kind of a starburst feel. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do as soon as I'm done here. You might want to just make some lines like this as well. Okay. And then just wait for that to blend in again. There. All right, now the last part is we just need to do his little face here, the Santa face. So just color his face and his nose, and all the rest we're going to keep kind of like a white. All right, now we're going to grab our 2 3/8 inch circle punch and just go and punch this and center it as best as you can, like that. It's so nice to have our punches back again, our circle punches. Now we're just going to adhere this to the back or to the front of the cherry cobbler stylish shaped circle. Just center that here. Okay, then the next thing we are going to do is take a little piece of this trim, and this comes in gold and silver in one pack, and we are going to place this behind this circle. So we are going to grab a glue dot and just kind of put this in the center of the top of it like this. I kind of line it up with this line so it's in the center like that. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. This is going to be like a little ornament hanging on the front of our card. And I usually like to put one dimensional right on there so it doesn't come loose. 3 should be enough for this one. And then just close your card and kind of just center it. And I'm going off this edge a little bit. About like that. Then the ornament is going to go over the top. I guess I cut this a little bit long. I can trim it down a little bit, but we want it to be straight. I'll make it straight before I adhere it. And then we're going to take another glue dot and we are going to secure it here. But before you secure it, just make sure it is going straight like that. So we're going to put this on top of it like that. And I'm going to trim it down just a little bit because we don't need it quite that long. And as you know, this glue dot is going to make it sticky and it'll stick shut if I shut the card now. I need to sharpen the scissors. Oh, luckily we invested in a scissor sharpening machine. So I do that for my team every year and my Cozy Craft Retreat attendees. And what I did was I took a little 1/2-inch circle and punched it out of a cherry cobbler. And I'm going to put that right on top, and it's going to do 2 things. It's going to cover up that glue dot, and then also it's going to prevent this from fraying. So here we have our little ornament card, and then we are going to take our gold and vanilla 3/8 inch satin edged ribbon. I already tied it in a bow. And let me put a little glue dot on the back of this, and we will put this right at the top of our ornament and kind of cover up that gap there. And then we just have one thing left to do, and that is, you know what? I need to cut this in the other direction. I'm OCD when it comes to the direction of the bow end, so this needs to go like this. There, now they're symmetrical. All right. All right, now let's do the inside of the card. And all you need is this panel of very vanilla cardstock. And this is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. We're just going to adhere that to the inside. Just kind of center it in between, not really centered, but line it up according to your edge here. There's a little bit of a gap here, but that's all right because when we close it, you know, it'll look fine. We just want to make sure it's all covered up behind this panel. All right, now I'm going to take my cherry cobbler ink. And of course, I need to use the 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly sentiment. And this is really stained up, but don't let the staining of your stamps worry you because it still stamps the same, but for some reason the reds and burgundies like to stain them. So that's the perfect sentiment to go with a Santa card. So there's today's project. I hope that you enjoyed it. And again, if you see any products that you'd like to order, please use the host code. And this changes every month. So if you go to my website and that is not the host code, just use the one that's on my blog and that will be the most current one. Thank you again, everyone. I hope to see you next week, Tuesday morning. I do my YouTube lives Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Arizona time. Thank you and have a great week. Bye-bye.